games. So, do we have any missions currently active? I mean, we must have some satellites. I would expect we have a few. Yeah. We have Fox's Star, which has landed on the moon. We have the Fox Star Relay in orbit around the moon. And we have the PSS Smart Future, which is in orbit around Duna. Wow, did we really do all that already? And we had some other missions. We've technically landed on the moon, but I think we burnt up on re-entry coming back. So technically we still have a mission to go to the moon and return. We only have to return from a flyby of the moon, interestingly enough. You know, so we could do that just to complete, just so that we get more quests in the chain here. We got, you know, some satellite missions. We got some tourist missions over here. Orbital station around the moon. Orbital station around Kerbin. We could work on some of those. So, re-downloaded both RimWorld and Factor because of Quillstream. Something tells me I'll be into Kerbal next. These are all very, very, very solid games. So part of me wants to... Hey, Digesting Dragon, thank you very much. I've been killing at least one Kerbal today. Here's some more bits for the Kerbal Memorial Fund. So, Geometric Giraffe donated lots to the Extra Life charity stream, and specifically made a request that he be killed in some sort of, like, you know, extravagant fashion or something like that. Something very Kerbal-y. So, I mean, part of me was like, we can send him into the sun. Although, actually, send him into the sun, honestly, deorbiting that much costs a lot of Delta V, and we need a ridiculous amount of life support to make him keep going that way. I mean, Kerbals just go dormant when they run out of life support. I believe with this mod, they don't die. So we could still do that, actually. We could ignore the life support aspect and just do that. And that might be a possibility. The other thing is, like, making some sort of crazy machine to, like, kill him in some sort of creative way. It's not something I normally do. Oh, there's Geometric Giraffe in chat. So... I mean, if we want to kill someone, we just make a space plane, yeah, because, like, space planes have a fatality rate above 100%. That's just the way they work. So, one thing we could do, now, normally when I've been recruiting astronauts, I've been doing it through this button here to draft Twitch viewers, which results in grabbing people from Twitch chat, which is good. And I could just re-aim someone, but what we could do... We can have... I don't know if these classes do anything. Geologists and technicians. Go, Gummy! Hey, thank you very much! Whiskey, drunk, Kerbal, astronaut, and driver's seat. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, that's true. We have the external seats. We could do something like that. So I feel like what we should do right now is... can we name you from here? Maybe we can... I might need a different mod to be able to name Kerbals. I actually might not have a mod to let me specifically manually name a Kerbal. I think I do. Dang it. I'm sorry. I don't think we're going to be able to kill Geometric Giraffe today. Edit save files, yeah. That's true. We'll probably do that. So I think in the interest of keeping things going, I don't think we're going to be able to do that today, unfortunately. Can wait till next week, and Twitch week doesn't work. Excellent. Thank you very much for your patience, Geometric Giraffe. And next week should be a Kerbal stream. As far as I know, I don't have anything on Monday. So, let's go. Well, we will recruit an extra... Well, we've got plenty of people still. Never mind. We won't recruit anyone. So, we do have missions to make some thing. I think what we're going to do is... I want to do a flyby of the moon. Real quick, rip that out. Do a flyby of the moon. Just to get this mission out of luck. Although, you know what? Let's cheat. Just to advance things.
It's whiskey and
contracts.
chocolate.
Let's pretend... Just so that we don't have to, you know, do it again. Active whiskey and chocolate from Hailna. Hey Hailna, thank you very much. Congrats on your amazing charity stream on Saturday. Here's a question I always wondered: where did the name Quill18 come about? It's okay. Hold on. I'm gonna complete the Explore the Moon contract because we've sort of kind of done it, and we're just doing this so we can advance the story. There you go. Explore the Moon. A follow up. Oh, this is different. Dock 2 vessels on or around the moon. Oh snap! Okay, I love it. Let's do that. So the name Quill18, I've been on the internet for a very, 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 very long time. And when I was a teenager, I thought of myself as a bit of a writer. I wanted to maybe be a writer, and so I called myself Quill. And then at some point on the internet, you stop being able to just use a word just like Quill. So I threw on my favorite number, which is 18, which used to be my hockey number. So yeah, Apollo-style mission. So, okay, let's double check that we are reading this contract correctly. And this is what we're going to do. So docking on or around the moon is a stepping stone to building greater things, plus it's one of the few times when ramming things together is encouraged. Can't just leave the vessels in moon forever. These things are expensive. Return one to Kerbin. We somewhat disconcerting if all our missions to the moon were one-way trips. Yeah, if all of them. Bring one back to the moon. Bring one back to the moon. So dock to on or around moon. Return from Kerbin, from orbit of the moon. Return to Kerbin from flyby of the moon. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We send 2 vessels out, 2 separate launches. We fly one first, we put it in orbit around the moon, we fly the second one out and do that. Now technically we don't need any people on this, but I kind of feel like we might want to do that. What does the do viewer drawing work? I think the difference is if I hit this, it'll like cause people to have to spam chat to get in, as opposed to just grabbing someone at random. But we're not going to do that right now. People, where we're going, we don't need people. Probe for first, ship person for second, bring both home. Maybe that's a better way to do that. Especially since then we don't have to worry about life support for the first one, and we get to design 2 separate ships, which is kind of cool. So okay, let's do something like that. Well, we'll start with the Probodobodine core, which is a word I love to say. There's our Petra flag over there, which is wonderful. So yeah, and then the docking stuff, where would it be under? I guess I can just search for it. Coupling? Clampotron Jr. Okay. Boom. Excellent. And then you're going to have some batteries. So it'll be a small probe for us to connect to. And we'll throw some... Now, technically, we don't even have to bring this part home. We just have to dock, and then we can return with the other part.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
Can't just send one and decouple one part of it. We might be able to do that, actually. But I kind of like this idea. I think it's going to be more fun. I don't know. It doesn't say specifically. Named Moose. Next charity should be about saving giraffes. Oh my god, we could probably do something like that. Sometimes they specify they have to be 2 vessels. It says 2 vessels. 2 different vessels together. So they're going to have to be 2 separate launches, I believe. I think the game is smart enough to know if you just decouple and recouple. I'm not certain. Some of the contracts are smarter than others in terms of things like that. Did you just throw some Oscars on here? And then a tiny little spark. Excellent. Oh, we're going to need reaction wheels in all this too. Command and control. A small inline reaction wheel. And also some sort of antenna. Now, we do have a satellite in orbit over there. And that's the thing. After we're done, we can leave this in orbit on the moon as another satellite for redundant relays, which is going to be nice. Because I think as long as we can dock, and we can probably afterwards undock. This is a relay antenna. Okay. So if we do something like that and rotate you thusly, there we go. We can leave this tiny little communication satellite in orbit around the moon. The probe core, the Probodobodine that I'm using here may or may not have reaction wheels. This one does not. I was pretty sure this one did not have it, and it can be kind of a trap. Plus, in any case, they tend to be small reaction wheels, so usually it's nice to overkill it anyway. I don't believe it has to land on the moon. No. You can dock 2 vessels on or around the moon, and we have to return from Kerbin from the moon. That's okay. Bring a vessel that was in stable orbit or back that flew by. Yeah, so, I mean, to me, it sounds like the same vessel can accomplish both these bottom parts. So I think we're going to be okay. I'm still on 1.4.5. I'm just a little leery about breaking all my mods. At some point, we'll have to do a test to see if 1.5, if all the mods are working the way I'd want. Anyway, let's send this bad boy into space. We'll just grab a coupling. Yeah, we'll go with like this size and then grab the this one here. There we go. And then we really don't need a lot to get us the rest of the way. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me because this is really light. Where's our swivel? Any chance this is enough? Probably, but, you know, overkill for safety. There you go, 5,800 delta V. Ludicrous amounts of overkill, but that's okay. We'll throw some winglets on here. What the heck, we'll go ahead and use this thing. Like that. Anything, have we forgotten anything? Safety lights, oh my god. How could we possibly forget some safety lights? There we go. We'll have a trio, like that. There you go. And they're spinning. I'm gonna make sure they stay spinning over here. Done. All right. We are going to use the champagne bottle mod to nameify the Victoria's Horizon, the Petra space program Victoria's Horizon. So basically, what this is a very tiny relay satellite, but we're going to use it to do our link. Does it have enough thrust to weight? I think it has a fair amount. I think we're going to be okay. Check staging. You're right. First of all, I want to put that there. And I suppose I can combine those stages, and that's fine. And then, yeah, at some point we'll stage that. Everything is groovy. Do I still have the game muted? I think I have the game muted from the pre-stream, and I hadn't realized until now. I would have noticed as soon as we launched I didn't have any sounds. There we go. Now we got some sound effects. Yeah, science. I mean, I suppose we should have some science on there to maybe help the mission that, like, requires it. The thing is, we actually have, I think, all our science experiments already in orbit. Actually, I don't know if we've used the RPS antenna yet. So that's there. So yeah, on the opposite side, right over here, we'll throw that down. I think everything else we've sort of done. Save, launch. We've got a scan sat around the moon. So, and it's in polar orbit around the moon. I'm pretty sure anyway. So another scan sat wouldn't help. Oh, you can't see the delta V stats. Yeah, my bad. We'll see if we can move my head to a slightly better position. It's a little tricky when you're building stuff. I guess I could move the delta V stats over on the right-hand side for construction. Here, there we go. We got, just squeeze her in there, and I guess I can move my head just slightly over here, and that should be more or less okay. All right, let's go to the moon. SAS on, throttle to full. Go. Whee! I mean, it looks like a proper rocket. It's the mod list for this playthrough. Yeah, in the chat, that is the mod list for this playthrough. You have an option to launch satellites into orbit via cannons. I mean, you still need propellant on whatever you fired. Unfortunately, there's no way around that, I think. Tap, 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 tap. No seat for the adventurous Kerbin. On this one, yeah, just leave them outside. Keep their helmet off, too, so their face just goes all blah, 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 blah. Come a long way from barely flying soda can to an actual rocket. Yeah, man, things look good. All right. This is looking all right. We don't have, like, the launch ascent or anything like that. No. We still don't have the auto deployment of the solar panels either, because I don't think we have the full action groups. I think that's where you get it. Gravity turn's looking real good. Real good. That's what happens when you have, like, because this is not that heavy, the amount of gimbaling plus the just air control that we have is ludicrous. The payload's not, like, super big or wide or anything like that either to cause, like, weird effects. We can continue to push a little bit more horizontally here and be perfectly happy with it. Those heat effects I'm not worried about. Apoapsis continues to grow. I'm spending a lot of energy pushing that up. That's okay. I think I can go totally horizontal now. Excellent. All right, getting to space is easy. The hard part is going sideways enough to stay in orbit. I am going to go ahead and stage the fairing off. I know we're pushing into a very, very, very high orbit, but we have... That's okay. Do that, and I'm going to kill that. Okay. Beep. 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 Let's keep ourselves locked to prograde now. That's going to be fine. KSP version, we're on 1.4.5 still. Which is not the latest patch, but I want to make sure not to break all my stuff. Oh, we got some science right away. All right, first, extend all the solar panels, which I still currently have to do manually. Excellent. We're going to turn on our safety lights. Excellent. We are now safe, you guys. We can now go and collect the radioplasma wave scan. Woo! It's got all kinds of antennas! And we'll go ahead and just transmit that back home. And actually, we'll make sure to keep our antenna extended. Because I think, is it going to go away? No, it stays out there. Oh, no, there. Yeah, it's retracting itself. Extend antenna. Love. I mean, this looks very, very cool satellite-y, doesn't it? I think so. All right, so circularization is going to be pretty easy here. So we're going to go ahead and add a maneuver. And mostly I'm doing it so I've got a general idea of when to start doing this. We'll go ahead, always quick save before you time warp. We'll go ahead and warp to the next maneuver. Oh, we've got a high orbit scan that we're going to transmit. Excellent. We will lock ourselves to the maneuver node. Fast forward a little. I love those sound effects, very Star Trek-y. Stop. And go for burn. That is a hell of a sound. How come it wasn't updating my maneuver stats? That was weird. Okay. Good thing I was paying attention to something that wasn't just the maneuver meter. Huh. Recovered from the weekend stream yet? I got a fair amount of rest last time. That was nice. Oh, apparently we have a mission to put a satellite in orbit here. Interesting. Equatorial orbit of Kerbin. We need a material bay. I was like, is there any way we can like do this at the same time as the other one? But no, we don't have a material bay on this, so no go. Anyway, easiest way to get the moon, set it at 12 o'clock, prepare a burn at about 4 o'clock. Of course, you can also eyeball it. You just start a prograde burn when the sun rises, or when the moon rises over the horizon. But again, this lets us sort of eyeball things a bit. So I'm gonna do this just to have a general idea of what to do. I'm going to focus the view over here, and what we're going to do, quick save before time warp, warp to next maneuver, should be ready to go orbital prograde. Am I the only one wondering the sound of the rocket? Sound doesn't work in space. It's the sound we hear from inside the rocket. I mean, it makes sense we've got Kerbals on there. It's still going to be noisy as hell. And I guess when it's a probe core, we still have an internal microphone to relay information back to the audio engineers back home to make sure that everything sounds okay. Because one of the most important things about a rocket is to make sure it sounds cool. Everyone knows that. Come on. Come on. Oh, I love this game so much. And we're just about ready for the burn. Can you feel the burn? Sounds transmits for solids. Exactly. So if you're inside, you're going to hear perfectly fine. All right. So, I mean, based on the burn I calculated, but I mean, I basically put it anywhere. So we're going to go ahead and start it now. Okay, it's updating this time, which is good. It's really loud. Is our orbit growing? More and more and more. Can you paint these vessels? Some of the spaceship parts, as of patch, have multiple textures. Okay, whoa, a second. Let me cancel this. And we're gonna keep going with the burn. I was expecting us to get a little closer, a little further when I kept doing the burn. Not have the periapsis stay basically where it is. That's weird. Does that seem weird to anyone else? I guess we're gonna have to do a radial burn to adjust. Huh. Now, if I'm gonna burn radially, would I do it here or later? I'm trying to remember. I mean, that's not... A couple hundred delta V gets us close there. It looks like it's about the same. So, all right. No, we want an anti-radial burn, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're pointing straight at the planet right now. Now, what's the orbit? I feel like I'm that, like, stuffed monkey or whatever it is, like, you know, meme. What orbit are we going to target for this rendezvous? Is it more efficient to be higher or lower? I mean, probably just lower. Especially when we want to leave the moon, it's going to be a lot easier. Or is it? Probably. Because when we're doing a circularization burn, if our periapsis is lower, that's got to be better to do the circularization, which is what we're going to need. So I'm thinking lower. So... Here. Let's target about 50k, just to have a roundish number. Okay. And lower we'll get both the high and low space experiment. That's true. I think for the moon it might be a 60k divide. I don't remember what it is exactly. We might want to do partway through. Quick save. And this we do want to do partway through. A bit of a normal or anti-normal burn. Just to end up a little more equatorial. And yeah, there's no reason we have to be circular. I mean, it tends to make the rendezvous a little simpler. Especially if one thing is circular. So try to follow Quill's strategy of not giving your allies land after first warn EU4 as air. Didn't work out. It didn't work out. Yeah, sometimes they get real cranky. There we go. That's the right angle there. Now this one you have to eyeball because you don't actually get the angular stats from this view. That looks pretty much equatorial. Might have overburned by just a tad, but that's okay. Ooh, where are we slingshotting to? That's true. We would actually... This would be a slingshot to a Kerbin escape, but we're going to burn retrograde once we get to the periapsis marker at that point. So here's us floating delicately towards the moon. Quick save before we time warp. All the time. All the time, all the time. Oh, did I might have adjusted the periapsis through all this too. What are we at? 29. Okay, about 30k, which is okay. Radio plasma scan, excellent. We can transmit it for maximum information. What we'll do is quick save, time warp to the periapsis. Time warp will probably be interrupted when we go into low orbit here. Get another radio plasma scan and transmit. Excellent. Okay. Now, hopefully, our radio signal is going to be fine. It's interesting that we're actually bouncing the signal off this relay to go to Kerbin, even though I would expect us to be a little closer. I mean, we still have line of sight on Kerbin. As far as I know, we have the same antennas. Oh, maybe not. The Fox's Star relay might have the one that doesn't swing out, so it might technically be considered a more powerful one. We might not have full signal otherwise. I don't know. Anywho, orbit info, time to periapsis, 2 minutes. Yeah, okay, we can fast forward some more, that's fine. There you go, we're now blind to this satellite, but we still have our signal back home. Still have 100% strength, so I don't know. All right, and we are facing retrograde, so we're gonna go for burn and just close our orbit. And yeah, I think here we're gonna go for a circular orbit. That should be a little easier to target. Boxes. Good enough. We dropped the parry a little bit. That's going to be fine. So still at about 30. That's going to be a-okay. We have 320 meters per second delta V left in here if we have to do any more adjustments, but I think we're going to be pretty okay. Hey, Giraffe! When you do get to launch ascent guidance, yes. Can you do a little run through of how you personally use it? Every time I try to use it, I get something wrong. My rocket and Kerbal experiences rapid, unscheduled disassembly. Yes, sir, Mr. Giraffe. Absolutely. One of the things is I tweaked the ascent profile to be less efficient, but safer for the automatic ascent module. Okay, so we're going to go... right, we can't do it from this view. But there's our lovely satellite. We don't have to use smartass on... I mean... take a picture. Oh, see, for some reason, the rotation doesn't carry through out of the VAB for some reason. I don't know why. There you go. Lovely little screenshots. Okay, so let's go back to the Space Center. Oh, the science for the science junior material bag for the moon. That stuff burned up on reentry. And that's true, too. So, on our vessel that's going to be returning home with a Kerbal, which is the one we're doing now. I mean, we don't need to have a Kerbal on it, but we're going to put a Kerbal on it just because. We will have the material bay. And the goo, maybe? Oh, you're doing the thing where we can't see anything again. So we have to, like, load into the VAB and exit back out to be able to see, but that's going to be okay. Would you rather bet $1 million on a spacecraft landing engineer's ability to successfully perform eye surgery or an eye surgeon's ability to land a probe on a comet? Wait, what? I don't know. That sounds hard. I'm going to start with a new design because I think we've unlocked a few parts and things since last time. Actually, let's double check what our science situation is. We did transmit a little. 126. I bet you we can unlock something. Storage technology won't really help us here. Advanced flight control does give us some extra mech jet features, which might be nice. We got the thruster blocks. We got the Mark II command pod. Two-seater for when a single Kerbal feels too lonely. Yeah, okay. Let's go with something like that. That's going to be all right. And come back in here. We built the spacecraft if there's Brussels yet? I wonder how we would do that. What would be the... So, Mark I command pod with a Clampotron Junior on top. There we go. There's the snap. Excellent. And we need to make sure to not forget to add some parachutes. There we go. Pair of parachutes like that should be great. Okay. I'm going to say we're not going to return with the material bay because, I mean, that sort of kind of caused us some issues last time. We're going to leave it in space. So we're going to go and put the thermal shield there. Then we're going to go and throw the decoupler below that, followed by the science bay, like this. Actually, do we... With the universal storage... Yeah, we have access to the cores now. 4 base service core. Because I'm going to want to have, yeah, a life support supply bag. have anything in it? Oh, right. In this one, they're genetic. Okay, wait. That's supplies. Yeah. Which is your food. But I'm thinking... Hang on. There's probably one that is everything, no? Wait, what category is that supply bag in? It's not under life support? What? What category is this in? How can you tell? Huh. I don't know. So do we only need supplies? Do we not? Okay, so you don't need oxygen supply for crew. You only need supplies. That's it. Okay. Which should be fine, because with this we've got... But I still don't know what category this wedge is in. It's not in here. So I'm still thrown off by that. Yeah, just what I'm looking for is this wedge that I just added on, that I found. I wanted to know what category it was in so that I could, you know, just compare to see if there was anything else. It's probably this utilities category. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's in this utilities category. Okay. So we have supplies, which encompasses in this mod. I usually run TAC life support, and at the Unity game convention, Unite LA, I met the guy who created the TAC life support mod. What? He watched my programming channel, which is crazy to think about. Anyway, we have 11 days worth of supplies, 7 days worth of habitation. So before our Kerbal sort of goes nuts, which is going to be okay. As a backup, what I might do is throw a probe core on here in case the Kerbal goes nuts and goes into his cocoon state. Maybe what we'll do is we will go and have a probe core on here. Plus, the probe core might offer us more RCS than our base Kerbal might be able to do. So that's going to be a-okay like that. Okay, good. And actually, with that in mind, maybe I'll also throw on a battery pack. Oops, on this, on the upper tier, just to make sure we don't run out of power on re-entry. All right, that should be fine. So now that we've got that, we can go back to the science and grab the universal... Oh my god, hold on. Do we not have a universal... Oh no, there we go. Science Junior. Excellent. Looks a little odd, but sure. I don't know if we need the barometer, but we've got slots in here. So we'll go and put you in. We've got one more slot we can use for, I don't know, literally anything. We'll reduce supply usage by 50% for one Kerbal. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're overkill on supplies anyway. Water storage? What's the water for? Oh, fertilizer and things. Oh, for different things. Fuel cell? Oh. Do we have a wedge version of that? Yes! Okay. Boasts impressive efficiency rating of 50%. So this takes oxygen and hydrogen, and turns it into power and water. But we don't have the inputs for it. Oh, is RCS fuel available as a wedge? That's interesting. We can get some more liquid fuel as a wedge. That's about it. I think we'll just leave that slot blank. It's fine. And it's a little weird to have it exposed, but it's actually kind of okay. What I think I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and grab the payload. We'll do this. And does it not? Hang on, I don't know if that was right. There you go, close fairing. Okay, nope, that's good. Excellent, we can get rid of you, and what I'm gonna do on the top is just stick a little, not that one. hang on. Sort by size. Thank you. There we go. We can just uncouple it when we go up. There. I think that's swell. Universal storage, cylindrical. Oh. Oh, that's the universal storage fairing built in. Oh, that's cool. All right, looks good. Wonderful. So now we need fuel for this stage. And this is going to be the fuel that we are going to use for... Oh, my ordering's different. For basically getting to the moon and getting us into lunar orbit and returning us. There's a lot of jobs here. It's clearly going to need a Terrier. What are we looking at? Almost 2K Delta V. That's not bad. We'd rather not use most of that for our translunar or transmunar injection phase. So we're going to see what else we can do here. Coupling, decoupler. No, I keep grabbing the wrong one because the look of them have changed somewhat. I might want to have a 2-stage initial launch like this. I suspect so. If I do this, how's your thrust to weight? Not quite enough. But we could do this. Oh, you're supposed to be symmetrical. There we go. Surface level thrust is 1.2. Total delta V is 6,000. That might not be quite enough. We don't have fuel lines yet, right? No. So there's no asparagus staging. Boo! Everything gets amazing with asparagus staging. Maybe throw on some SRBs here. Yes, there's a heat shield. So yeah, I think what we do is we do throw on some SRBs. Can be kind of hard to eyeball, but that seems to be okay. Alright, so we're gonna want... let's see here. We need to redo the staging quite a bit. Maybe there. And there. And there. And you guys are gonna stage together. Okay. 6300. So all the engines light on the bottom. And at some point we drop the SRBs. And at some point we drop that and go there. 6300. How do we feel about that? I don't know. Yeah, we'll throw on some winglets. It's going to be a little tricky to do this. It'd be so much better with the asparagusing. We'll do something like that. And we're going to throw on parachutes on our top, or well, not top two. You'll see what I mean in a second. Here. That. I think we can let this one burn. It might actually be on a ballistic or like a suborbital trajectory, so it might burn up anyway, and it's small and cheap. So, yes, safety lights, you're absolutely right. Thank you for always reminding me. I want this plus some solar panels. There we go. And you're centered up. You need to be one notch over that way. There we go. Flames Hairball. I like it. Except you are going to be the Petrospace program. Oops. Flames Hairball. Excellent. Need an antenna? For transmitted science, maybe. Oh, and I guess if the probe core is going to end up doing some automation, then maybe. I think for this one, we can probably make do with just a static antenna over here. It's going to be fine, because either it'll be able to connect to one of our satellites, and actually, while it's docked to our satellite, it's going to be 100% fine. Yeah, I'll just, I'll throw one on the back here, just to say. Experiments for universal storage don't work for me at the moment. Best test before launch. Oh. Okay. We shall see. I think this is enough Delta V. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. Well, what could possibly go wrong? You think this is error dynamically sound? Nice. What about RCS? How you planning to dock? Okay, that's a good point. I was mostly just gonna fly straight at it. But yeah, we should probably do something like that. Let's take a look at the science. Deploy primary base. Excellent. And life support bag. Science junior. Goo is not safe to observe in this environment. That is peculiar. Alright, that was that. There's something else in here, don't we? I can't see properly because we're so far away. Okay, well, let's, yeah, I don't know. The science may or may not work. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't. What we're going to do, let me just revert to the vehicle assembly here. Oh, that's what the Magnum monitor said in your previous stream that didn't work. Yeah, you're right. Well, if we can't science, we can't science. That's okay. The important thing is to finish the thing. We'll just go with this. It's going to be okay. But yeah, RCS is probably a good idea. I didn't realize it was so big. Go with something like this. That should be plenty. And we just unlock this thrust block. I know it's not like centered, but that's okay. But I am worried about my Delta V now. There we go. Much better. Still lots of thrust. Actually, you know what? Still tons of thrust. And quite a bit more Delta V. There we go. Save. Launch. So the experiments may not work. That's okay. It's quite tall. It is, actually. So we're going to have to take a very cautious ascent profile. A little steeper, less efficient gravity turn, but much safer. Do the stages break? Slightly, yeah. Okay. Looks like the parachuting kind of broke. Oh yeah, we don't have anything strutted either. Hold on a sec. Last revert. Because it is tall enough, there'll probably be a bunch of wobble without a bunch of struts. We gotta strut our stuff. Rigid, no. Auto strut to the heaviest, that's fine. You'll strut to the root up there, that's gonna be fine. That's fine too. Like that. Yeah, these parachutes have to be here. And yeah, that broke. Okay, I think everything is okay. Okay, done. The rocket is so big, you should add another stage and engine. Possibly, yeah. Is the Kerbal in the rocket a pilot? By default, it is. So probably. Who's in there anyway? Gotta wait for it to finish loading. Who's in there? It's Fallen God Zero who's in there. Awesome. Okay. SAS on, full throttle. We're ready to launch. Go! Woohoo! And it's gonna take off real good because of the SRBs. Real good. There's no problem there. All right, let's go ahead and start our gravity turn. And we're getting some twist in here. It's less than ideal, but that's all right. Actually, with a rocket this big, oh my God, look at the aerodynamic things. Drop the SRBs. They smash into each other. All right, that's fine. Getting some wind stuff. I probably could have used the smart-ass surface controls, actually, to get a little bit more accuracy in some of these turns, but that's okay. We got to be careful not to overshoot the prograde too much, because we are long enough that aerodynamic forces will be a bit of an issue. Da-da-da. Bum, 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 da, da. Whoops. Pleased to announce, those of you guys who supported Extra Life with a donation of $25 and more, Kerbal is one of the games I have some codes for, actually. So if you don't have Kerbal, but you did donate to Extra Life, or you do, because they're still open, the donations are still open, you can get in on that draw. Okay, I would prefer being a little flatter than this, although I gotta still be really careful. When it's this long, there's a real chance that aerodynamic forces will cause you to flip over. So you gotta be very careful about your max Q or whatever. What? How did the staging break again? There you go. Okay, we can afford to go outside the prograde a fair bit now because it's not too windy. Flatter and flatter. Apoapsis is at 62k and climbing. Time to periapsis is climbing, which is still a good trend. I think we can more or less go flat now. Yeah, and like that, wow. Even the bottom stage actually got us to be, there we go, to be suborbital. So we're going to circularize with this and translunar injection, which is good. That's what I wanted. I'll aim for about 100k, just to say. I mean, anything over 70 is fine, but I just like doing this. When's the draw? The draw it'll be done later this week. It's not going to be on the stream. I have to like go through and like create all these spreadsheets for everyone who donated for a bunch of different things. Ooh, lights. It's all sideways, so what we're going to end up with is a very flat orbit, which is nice. All right, I'll kill the engine now. That's going to be okay. I'll get you to just hang on to orbital prograde at this point. That's going to be fine. Look at this. Look how flat that is. Circularization is going to take like 2 seconds of energy. There was not a Kerbal Monday last week. I was in Toronto. And then the week before, I was in LA. There we go. Got the safety lights on. And again, they don't spin by default. It's got to be a bug. I wonder if they fixed it in 1.5. We're still in 1.45. There we go. Nice. And we're in space. How's our time to apoapsis? Closing in. Done. Excellent. Time to apoapsis 1.4. Yeah, we can start doing a few things. Oh, utilities. So we can actually enable auto deploy solar panels and antennas now, which is nice. And that should stick around between things. We've also got the maneuver planner now, so we can say something like circularize at the neck apoapsis, create and execute. Lovely. So, you know, once you've done things a million times and then you research the right things, you can start to get MechJeb to do it for you. This looks lovely, doesn't it? Oh, just gorgeous. Graphic packs help, of course. There's a lot of light in here, huh? If we view from inside, voomp, voomp. Because there's no shelf shadow in Kerbal. There we go. Circularization burn is a go. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, as soon as we're done this burn, I will want to eject my nose cone. Burn is still... There we go. And decouple. Goodbye, nose cone. Bye! Fire you into the sun! Okay. So, the next step is for... oh. So, it's telling us there's science. Yeah, no. It's glitched. Ah! So, first of all, I probably should have stayed with Universal Storage version 1. Universal Storage 2 seems a little confusing to me, and clearly it's broken. Maybe there's an update for it, and I should check it out. So we're not going to be able to do our sciencing on that, but that's okay. We're just looking to complete this mission, which is going to be kind of tricky. So the next step is to go to the moon. Now, again, we know how to go to the moon. We've gone there a million billion times. So let's see if MechJeb can handle some of that for us. Because what we want to do is we want to do a Hohmann transfer to the target. That's what we've been doing all along. Create and execute. It'll make the node for us and tell it to go. Now, what we may want to do is, as before, this transfer might not put us in the orbit that we're looking for in the end. This is like the perfect one where it's actually going to smack us right into the moon, which is not exactly what we're hoping for. So what we're likely going to do... Oh, hold on a sec. Before I do this, abort node execution. Cancel this node. What I want to make sure I am is 0 inclination, so we can go perfectly orbital. We're pretty close. It would be very easy for us to fix. If I go and return my view over here, we just crossed the ascending node. Here's the descending node, where we're descending through the plane. So what we want to do is at the descending node, we want to burn upwards. Like, it's hard to see, but technically, like, this is, to exaggerate things, this is the equator, and right now we're at an angle. And so at the descending node, we're coming down through there, and then on the other side, on the ascending side, we're coming through here. It's very small. It's basically nothing, but we can quickly make a fix for that. And even more easily, what we can do is ask MechJeb at this point to just create it. So what it's doing, it's going to set a little maneuver at one of the next bits in between. Oh, yeah, I guess for this, like, we were looking at the ascending... What's it doing the maneuver there? Would you not do the maneuver at... Why is it doing the maneuver there? You do it at the ascending or descending nodes, don't you? Trust your machine overlords. Am I correct that most KSP mods are not in Steam Workshop? That is correct. KSP Workshop for Kerbal lets you share vehicles, like vessels, but it's not for mods. Does it really matter how circular your orbit is? Sorry, it's not circular. We're not. No, in a sense, the how circular orbit is doesn't matter, but how flat it is. Wait, there's more than one maneuver node. Hold on a sec. But how flat is going to mean we're going to be able to enter into the equator on the other side a little easier. Which doesn't, I guess, in a sense matter that much, because on the other side, it's not going to be flat anyway, but what the hell, right? So, you told it to change inclination at current node? No, at the highest equatorial. At nearest? Anyway, it's fine. Maybe because the numbers were so small, it was hard to see it kind of correctly. Anyway, so we have a target, which is the moon. So we're gonna go and ask it again for that home and transfer. Create and execute. Wow, we are turning slow because we're quite large. We didn't add any reaction wheels to our vessel, and so swinging this entire weight behind us is kind of rough. When you create a maneuver, everything is then shown as it will be after the burn. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway. It's fine. So again, we've done the burn to the moon a million times. Yeah, maybe it was just a visual thing. So we'll just get it to do it automatically for us this time. Fallen God Zero looks sometimes like a smiley. Yeah, Fallen God's pretty happy. So yeah, we keep getting interrupted for the science, which we can't do. So it keeps killing the time warp. It's Whiskey and Chocolate from Cave for the continuation of Safety Lights in Space. Thank you very much, Caves. Safety lights are the most important thing. I think for next week I will try to make the move to 1.5, even though it might break a million mods. If I load up CCAN, I mean, don't update things while the game is running. That's a terrible idea. But just out of curiosity, I wonder if there's an update for the Universal Parts mod. Or it could be D-Magic that's breaking as well. Probably not. That wouldn't make much sense, would it? And again, this didn't update correctly. Something's breaking. And this happened last time too, so I don't know if MechJeb is going to keep doing this burn forever or not. In any case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill that. I'm going to tell you, keep locking prograde. We'll just keep the burn manually for now, because I like to do that anyway. Everything is bad. This wasn't like this last time we ran, though, and I literally haven't made a single change. The reason I've avoided doing an update is because I don't want to break anything, and now all of a sudden everything's broken. Updates for D-Magic Orbital Science. I don't think that would be the thing, though. There's no update for the parts. I don't know. I might have to just regress. That'll be okay. What money did you reach during the extra live stream? We are now at over $54,000 raised for the children's charity, which is unbelievable. You guys are the greatest, the most wonderful people for having done that. I'm just gonna have to pay a little bit of attention here. Whoop. Okay. And down, 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 down. Whoa. All right, pretty good. Excellent. So now we have nothing to do with the weight. Woo! All right, good, groovy. Fallen God Zero's happy. Everything's good. Unmanned mod is not working at the moment. And here's the link if people still want to donate. Yep, donations are still open. And on the donations page, there's also list rewards. $25 or more gets you into a draw for a Steam code. I'll be emailing people with forms for that, so you can just sign up for, you know, games you don't have or whatever. $100 or more guarantees your name will be included in a in some sort of Let's Play or something like that. There might be some Kerbal, might be in some RimWorld, might be in War Fortress. I do still want to start a Crusader Kings Let's Play, like the second I get my hands on Holy Fury, and I think that's going to be an excellent place for names as well. And technically for $1,000 or more, no, for $500, you get included into a board game night session. We did a bunch of those last year. They were amazing. I had so much fun. I think I had to do like 5 different sessions. It was so good. We had a blast. And then $1,000 or more, you can request a video or live stream or whatever of any game of your choosing. Details are all on that page. If you have enough Delta V, can you land on the moon? I mean, we wouldn't have landing gears. We're not going to land on the moon in this mission. But, I mean, you can in general. If you're just asking in general if you can land on the moon, yes, absolutely. Alright, let's fast forward. Yeah, we're getting stopped. Listen, science mod, which is not on the screen. What do I have to do? Right click on you? There. You no longer are going to stop my warp. Normally, I want that on, but in this case, that would be bad because I can't actually science. Look at that slingshot effect that we're going to get to from off this moon. That's without a subsequent burn. Just crazy. Okay, and we are now in the lunar sphere of influence, which is fine. Our goal here, when we get to the periapsis, we're going to want to burn retrograde so that we're in orbit in the moon, and then we'll work out our rendezvous. Just landed on flat space on the engine. Whew. Land, that's Kerbal speak for crash. Ah! Okay. Let's save, because I don't want to miss this, but otherwise warp to the periapsis here. When Stellaris 2.2 hits, will you be recreating the sports piece from the charity live stream? I'm kind of tempted. I don't know what we're going to do when 2.2 hits. And the thing is, part of me is going to be tempted to try out the Megacorp stuff, because 2.2 will be paired with a expansion that adds Mega Corporations to the game. The thing is, I might not want to play Mega Corporations. I'm really excited about 2.2. I'm excited about trying a few other things with it. So I don't know. We're gonna need interesting suggestions. And we got that. Let's burn retrograde. Just enough to make sure that we're not getting flung out into space. Retrograde is burning backwards, effectively. Wait, hold on a sec. So right now, we'd get flung out and come back and meet the moon a second time. That's amazing! Anyway, I mean, we still have to keep burning, though, because that's kind of not our plan here. That's amazing! I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean, there's no reason it couldn't happen. Okay, there we go. Technically, we're now in lunar orbit. We're nowhere close to circular. That's okay. What we want to do is rendezvous now. Now, here's the thing. My instinct is to rendezvous from the ship to the satellite. We could do it the other way around. Like, for the initial rendezvous. For docking, we'll have to control from this ship because we've got RCS on this ship. But for the rendezvous, we could have it go the other way around. But I think we'll keep going. We've got lots of Delta V. Twisty Maze of Little Patches. Hey, thank you very much. Election Eve down here. Can you weigh in on a debate I'm having with a colleague? Hold on. Let me bring up the other page so I can read it properly here. And while that's loading. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a target for Victoria's Horizon here. Set as target. Then we get a bunch of extra stuff on here. These little orange and pink tags represent the closest approaches on various orbits. And all we have to do, because we're basically in the same orbit over here, our periapsis on our current thing meets up with the orbit of the thing we're trying to meet. So by simply changing the length of our orbit, we change the times that we meet up over here. And all we have to do is burn retrograde a little bit to bring our orbit down and wait until at some point we're going to meet up over here. And then we'll do something like that. Okay, so the message from Twisty Maze Little Passages. Election Eve down here, can you help weigh in on a debate I'm having with a colleague from Toronto? Would you accept a trade of Trump for both Ford brothers? Well, there's only one Ford brother left, I think, right? Didn't the other Ford pass away? I'm pretty sure. U.S. politics may be interesting, but all other politics, more than enough to eat at home. I don't think there's... I don't think there's any way we'd be interested in taking Ford. Need a crime syndicate run from school. Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, so let's start. This is a very light retrograde burn. What we're looking for is for the 2 orange bits or the 2 pinkish bits to come really close together. So let me go and derate this engine so we have very fine controls. Right click on it, bring down the thrust limiter a lot. So if we right click, we see separation, 55 kilometers. And oh, overshot slightly. Let me turn prograde. The slightest burn here is making a big difference. Okay, within a kilometer, that's not bad. What I think I'll do is I'll let it go here, and we'll do an adjustment later on in the orbit, where technically it'll take more delta V to make the adjustment, but it'll start to become slightly more possible. Tell the pilot to cough out the window. That's all we need. Yeah, we just need the slightest change. Just cough out the window. Roll down the window. We're gonna quick save. We're gonna warp to way over here. Whee! So we're doing this. Meanwhile, the satellite's making multiple circles. Alrighty then. So now, prograde and retrograde are both possibilities, as is radial and anti-radial. There's a bunch of different ways we can tweak this this encounter. We can also use MechJeb to help us with it. But so let's see. If I burn right now, it's prograde. Oh, it's going down. Okay. Oh, and then starts going up. Because the thing is, the separation at this point isn't so much timing, it's probably height more than anything else. So we're going to want to do a radial or anti-radial burn. Because retrograde and prograde mostly just means you'll end up in the same area at the same time. But right now we're going to be too high or too low. So we're going to adjust that this way. Oh. Interesting. Now, once you get fairly close, and within a kilometer is pretty close actually, there's an easier way to do this. But it would just be nice to get this to be super close. Isn't it normal and anti-normal? Normal and anti-normal. Sorry, by height I mean altitude by height. Not normal and anti-normal. Yeah, would change our alignment, and that might be the next adjustment to do. Just gonna burn here so that it ends up at 0.8 again. So now we're gonna use normal and anti-normal, which is gonna be sort of height above and below the equator. Oh, there it is. 0.6, 0.5, 0.4. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is to change our inclination. I forgot about that. That's actually the first thing to do when you rendezvous, is you get your ascending and descending nodes to get as close to 0 as possible. Oh, we're going up again, aren't we? Which I didn't do at the right place because I wasn't concerned about that. Anyway, we're good enough. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna call it good enough. That's gonna be fine. So we'll give it a little save. Because yeah, I should have brought our inclination to 0 first before doing anything else. That's okay. We'll get close. Did we get some more whiskey and chocolate? I thought I heard something, but I don't see a pop-up, so maybe not. It's just in my head. Excellent. Guys, I've got real problems. I got chocolate down here, though. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch out of this view. And there's our target over there, Victoria's Horizon. So we're getting closer and closer and closer, which is great. So we're in target navball mode. Now it automatically switches when you get close, because there's orbit, there's surface, and then there's target. This is our speed relative to the target. So now, if we were to burn retrograde, well, sorry, if I turn off SAS, if I use our regular SAS, and now I turn myself retrograde, ooh, that's bright, it's retrograde relative to the velocity difference between myself and the target. Now, if that's slightly confusing, I'll probably just use the smart ass for that, which this is the same button. This is prograde and retrograde relative to the target's position. Like this, so this is burning directly away from my target. This is burning directly towards my target. And then our vel is speed relative to my target. So what I'm going to want to do is get as close as possible to my target, which is happening now. We're getting closer and closer. We know we're going to get to about 0.6 kilometers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to burn relative to our velocity to kill our relative speed between the two of us. Now, I don't have a huge thrust to weight ratio right now, so I'm actually going to have to burn a fairly long time to kill off. It's only 200 meters per second, but it's going to be a fairly long burn. So I think I'm going to start now. Oh. Thrust limiter. There you go. We're killing that. I think I should have started the burn a little sooner. Yep. All right, that's fine. It's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill the speed relative to the two of us. So we'll be floating next to each other. And what's going to happen when I bring this down to 0, say about now, we're in the same orbit now. If we have no relative speed to one another, we're in the same orbit at this point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set target plus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to face directly towards the other ship and just do a little burn. So right now we've got a relative speed of 0.4, 0.5. Because we're not in exactly the same orbit, that will change. I'll do a little burn. So now I'm going 4 meters per second straight towards this bad boy. And we can go a little faster. Because if we do this, this is still 100 seconds away. A little more. Okay. Interesting camera change. Now what I'm going to be ready to do is go back to negative relative velocity so that we can hit the brakes when we get really close. This is not a rescue mission. We haven't actually done a rescue mission, which is kind of amazing. This is our very first rendezvous, and of course we're doing it in orbit of the moon. But we have a mission for it, so we're going to do that. First rendezvous and dock, which are two separate things. You don't have to dock to do a rescue mission. You just have to get close, then you can switch to the other thing, eject the Kerbal, and then just have him float over with a backpack. All right, we're within half a kilometer. And that's it. The more effective you do your initial rendezvous burn, the less you have to do here to, like, you know, get close. You want to make it easy, switch to the other vessel and make it face. Yeah, that's true. We'll probably do something exactly like that here. All right, so we're going to keep closing it a little more. And bring us to effectively, there we go, effectively a stop. We're basically now floating next to each other. We're almost exactly in the same orbit around the moon, so we're just chilling. So yeah, what I'll do, quick save before switching vessels. It's less of a problem now as the 64-bit client, but this used to be a really good way to crash the game. So over here, we're gonna make sure that our little satellite is facing. So here's our clampetron. You can say control from here. It doesn't matter for this step necessarily, but we're going to make sure, just to save us a little effort, that we're facing towards the other person. To do that simpler, I can just, can I set a target from here? I think I have to set a target from map mode. And just say target plus. There we go. So now we're facing towards the target over here. Now, when I switch away from this, we won't have the SAS on anymore. But it's still going to be basically facing over here. So we're going to switch back over this way. And what we're doing from here is we want to say two things. First of all, we want to control from the point of view of our connection, just so all our numbers go there. And am I too far away to click on the other part? I might be. That's okay. So what we're going to do here with Smartass is we're going to ask to keep ourselves locked facing towards the target. Okay? And again, if we don't have Smartass, that's fine. Set the target, SAS on, and oh, you can't keep facing prograde anymore? Really? That's odd. I thought you'd still be able to lock yourself facing prograde. Oh well. Anyway, this keeps us locked towards the target. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on RCS. And with RCS on, you can have access to a different set of controls using IJKL, H, and N. So we'll hit a little bit of H, which is sending us forward. So we can see a prograde marker, and we can see our target. The pink thing is our target. If our prograde is on the middle of the target, then we're heading directly to it. Hang on. How do I... Oh. If I'm on the window, it doesn't work. There we go. So what I'm doing, burning slightly sideways to keep that centered up, which is going to be okay. So the orange, like, you know, wing thing, that's my facing. The pink is towards my target, and here's the prograde marker. So all this is going to work out that we should be 100% lined up. We are moving directly towards the target, oriented in the right way. We're going to close in at just under 1 meter per second, which is pretty slow and fine. I could bring that down a notch. And then that lets us, you know, do slight corrections to some of our meaning. But as long as we get close, magnetically it will link together. Turn off the smartass. Boom! Excellent! Now, let's take a look at our mission. This is huge. This is some of the hardest stuff to do in Kerbal. I mean, some of the hardest stuff to do in real outer space as well. We can turn off the maneuver planner. There we go. Dock 2 vessels on or around the moon. Check. Return to Kerbin from orbit of the moon. So we could return with everything. A space kith. Not kith. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the little satellite in orbit around the moon, because it's quite cool. So we'll go ahead and we will simply undock. Excellent. Mwah. Ah, it was so romantic. Now let's go home. We have RCS on still, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back away. Excellent. And we can just turn off RCS at this point. And now all we want to do is go home. Can refuel the probe and send it off to Minmus. That's interesting, actually, because we have so much Delta V. That is actually really interesting. No, it's not being shoved into... I mean, it looks that way because it's, you know, slightly descending, but it's still very safely in orbit. Redock, huh? All right, let's do it. RCS back on. Forward. There we go. Locked on target. Again, we're in the middle of the pink, which means we're lined up facing the target that we want. We're literally all in line. Everything is good. And more importantly, the prograde marker is basically there. We're going to keep just sort of tweaking it. So the prograde marker is as locked in as possible. As we get close, we will hit the brakes a bit so we don't ram into this too hard. Oh. There we go. Center it up. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, that thing's spinning around. Switch vehicles. There we go. Okay. Excellent. Forward. There we go. Okay. Disaster averted! Probe has some commitment issues. Probe wanted me to kiss his ass. It's just rude. Okay, turn that off. So what we want to do here is we want to click. I don't have the technology to transfer fuel. We did all this. I don't actually have the ability to transfer fuel between things. We need the next most advanced fuel management thing. So, okay. We don't have the science. Let's just go. That's okay. All right. Back. Let's blow this pot stand. So, we want to leave orbit from here, effectively going retrograde to Kerbal. So, somewhere over here, we're going to add a maneuver to burn prograde and pop out that way. Which will put us in a lower orbit. And there's more adjustments and things you can do here. I'll sort of stop with that, and then I'll make the final adjustments after we leave. So that's going to be okay. I'm going to close the contracts view, which is this one. And the maneuver planner, I will just tell it, please execute the next node. Thank you very much. Tech you need for fuel transfer, just advanced fuel tech or something like that. We're close. We've got all the prereqs for it, but we need, like, I think 250 science or something. I'm not sure. And unfortunately, we're not getting any science this time around. I don't think it was just the crossfeed being turned off. I think we ran into this before. We tried to do something similar before and realized we didn't have the science. I don't know, maybe? It's too late now. Resource transfer is enabled. Oh, just by upgrading the R&D center. Oh! Just spending money on the R&D center. Oh, well. Okay, anyway. Yeah, for some reason I was thinking the one that enables fuel lines was for it. But, okay, you just spend money. I see. Yeah, we have science to do, but we can't. Oh, well, I could EVA and stuff. Okay, so the material study is still broken. But yeah, we can do all the EVAs and things, so that's good. Right, because those never got brought back either, because everyone died. But I'm sure nothing bad's going to happen to Fallen God Zero. Okay. Crew report. We're going to keep it. I guess we could transmit it all. EVA, EVA. Keep it. Board. Excellent. Can I transmit? Yeah, because we have a link. Awesome. Very good. But yeah. There's more EVAs as we pass over different lands, though, which is nice. Board again. Transmit that again. Nice. If I open the shroud and manually run it. I don't think so. So it's this one here. Observe, no, toggle. Observe? No. It was not safe to observe in this environment. Like, it clearly makes no sense. Unfortunately. Alright, so we are currently on escape from the moon. There was another EVA there. I suppose what I might want to do then is turn the auto pause behavior back on. There you go. EVA. EVA. Keep experiment. Board. Crew report. So this is high over the moon. And again, we'll transmit it because this does transmit for 100%. Excellent. Okay. Go, go, go. Unobservable goo, dark matter. New with the Kerbal EVing next to it? Maybe. I'm thinking it's just broken. I don't know. I think what I'll do is I'll revert to the previous version of UKI or whatever it's called. UKS. So what do we want to do here? What we want to do is we want to go and burn retrograde. Now, ideally, we would do it at that apoapsis, but it's okay. It's still fine. Slightly less efficient, but hardly so at this distance. And we just want to drive our periapsis lower so that we actually re-enter the atmosphere of Kerbin. So by burning here, we're lowering the apoapsis as well, which is why it's not as efficient. because the change is happening at the opposite side of the orbit, which isn't actually where the parry is, but that's okay. And that might be a little low, a little steeper than I'd like. Overshot at a scooch. Never play the game, but it's very interesting to watch Quill play it. Yeah, it's fun to play. It's like, and there's so much to do. If you don't like the space travel, make space planes. Or not space planes, but planes. Normal planes. There you go. So about 25k periapsis. I'm pretty pleased with that. That should be fine. Quick save. And warp to here. Schrodinger's goo. No arrow breaking. So we're gonna have a little bit of extra time left. We'll have to see what we do. We might have time for another Kerbal mission, but I'm actually wondering, I could just squeeze in a solo mission of Star Trek Bridge Crew or something like that, just to mix things up a scooch. Let's warp a little closer. Oh yeah, we could do all the radial burns and things like that. That's true, because we have tons of fuel, right? Hang on. Let's look into something like that. So, SAS on for stability. So, some combination of radial burn plus a retrograde burn. So, retrograde takes energy out of our orbit. But if we just do it now, it'll also drop the periapsis, which isn't what I want. But if we find the place between retrograde and radial burn is going to burn us, from this point of view, to the right. So what this does is it shifts our orbit this way. Well, okay, I'm mirrored. So it shifts our orbit this way. Well, that's hard to do because I'm mirrored. And then you combine that with retrograde. So between the two, our periapsis won't move, but we're going to take tons of energy out of our orbit. So if we do this, our periapsis is rising. So what we do is we shift more to it. Oh, that's prograde. I'm doing it the wrong way around. So if our periapsis is rising, you burn more retrograde. And if our periapsis is dropping, well, I want to drop it a little now, you burn a little bit more radial. So let me burn retrograde for now, just to fix the periapsis. There you go. And I'm going to start sliding over towards radial a bit. There we go. So it's rising. So there's a sort of sweet spot. And as it gets smaller and smaller, it gets harder and harder to like really tune this a bunch. But the goal is to take as much energy out of our orbit before we smack into the air. And is burn off the excess fuel. Like, we've got nothing else to do with this fuel right now, so we may as well. And again, periapsis anywhere between 20 and 30 is fine, depending on various factors. I'm going to sort of eyeball 25. If we take lots of energy out of our orbit, we could actually afford to go with a lower periapsis because we won't go as quickly. So having a steeper orbit's not going to be as much of a problem. But we'll try to keep it above 20 anyway. There you go. So we keep tweaking this. Either way, we're going home. This should just help us go home a little safer. A little more radial. There you go. See, it's keeping it at about 21k here, while still ripping more and more energy out of our orbit. It makes less and less of a difference as we go. That ain't bad. Let's aim a little lower, so a little bit more retrograde. Take more energy out. Because burning radial doesn't take energy out of our orbit, so the radial part of the burn doesn't really change our re-entry at all, other than our angle. It's just the retrograde part. And now we're having to burn like barely retrograde anymore to keep our orbit up. So we're no longer really gaining much. So I'll go and stop it. That's going to be fine, but it's still going to help. Be great if we could take this freaking material base study with us, but no. Let's do a quick save here. And re-entry's pretty soon, so that's good. I like to always launch my whatever I'm dropping off either above or below me. So I'm just going to click normal. Sorry, radial is what I want to do. Like that. And goodbye. Goodbye. Excellent. And then we'll be doing our re-entry as surface retrograde. Again, if you're not using smartass, it's fine. SAS on, make sure you're in surface mode, set to retrograde. This will make sure your butt stays facing into the wind, which is what we're looking for. Can't take the material study out of the thingy. We couldn't run the material experiment because it's glitched because of one of the mods I have running, unfortunately. So yeah, let's go ahead and time warp, smacking into the air. Not yet ready for the Space Science Station. We're having problems with some of the life support modules we need to get the Space Science Station running completely. Hey, thanks for the bits, Giraffe! I have to go to work now. Hope you have an unsafe rest of the stream. Nice. Okay, so we've entered the atmosphere. There's our lower part, which is going to burn up at some point. Right over the city. I'm sure that's perfectly fine and safe. And yeah, surface, retrograde, so our butt's facing into the wind, which makes sure that our thermal thingy is the thing that's going to deal with that. So we can go ahead and increase the physics warp, which is very scary and dangerous to do, especially as these flames start. We may have to be ready to do some rotation. Mostly, you want to make sure there's like fewer components on the bottom. I'm a little worried about our RCS bits, but I think we're going to be okay. No heat Mars yet. Check donations when you have a second. Oh, did I miss something? That sounds about right. Sounds about par for the course. Oh, that was our other stage burning up. Everything's fine, no heat bars. Oh, nothing came in with 5,000 bits. Holy cow. Okay, we're still not dead. Party 5,000, because of you I bought KSP and I still play it to this day. And you told me how to orbit, so thank you. Well, thank you very much. Nothing. Hey. I like people playing games that I like. It's cool. You know, it's just awesome to know that other people like the same stuff, and it means, you know, that there's more support for the game, so hopefully more stuff keeps coming out, whether from the developers or from the mod teams, and all that kind of jazz. Not a single heat bar coming up yet. I'm feeling really good about this re-entry. That is awesome and fantastic. Have you seen Scott Manley's video of rendezvousing two vessels which are orbiting a body in opposite directions? No, Geometric Draft, I have not. That's kind of intense. You ever want to do an Apollo 13 reenactment? How would you do that? That's the one that went badly. I don't know what that would mean. KSP2 win. I don't know. I mean, the change to KSP like 1 was pretty dramatic, and right before then, or was it 1.1? At some point, they advanced to like to the new Unity. Well, new. I think at the time it meant moving to Unity 4 point something, which had the new physics engine, which is pretty massive change and broke a million different things. Well, that went really smooth here. Fallen God Zero might actually survive. We don't know yet. We don't want to say it yet. There's still a lot left to the game, to the landing. I'm gonna wait before deploying the parachutes, just a little longer, just so that we don't have as long a range. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to deploy the parachutes. We'll go back to some physics warping, because what could possibly go wrong? Physics warping while you have parachutes out? Nah, this is perfectly okay. So they'll fully deploy at about 1 kilometer. Well, it'll be 1 kilometer here because we're above the ocean. So I'll just slow the time warp here for that part. RCS brakes. We actually could turn on the RCS and use that to help decelerate a little, but it wouldn't do much at this point. Fully deployed, there we go. All right, time warp, it's gonna take a while to finish doing this. Drop the heat shield. That's true, we could for less weight, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it on in this case because I want a little bit more weight because it's already gonna take us super long to land. Bum, 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 bum. We could do it like right before we touch down. I grab this and pin it. Some tough landing without safety lights. You're right. Use the RCS to land faster. Ha! Alright, jettison. Turn on RCS. That's so funny. Land faster. Go! 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 We're trying to land as quick as we can. And then Fallen God Zero's like, excuse me? It's okay, we can reverse them right at the end here. And softest possible landing. Ah, we're fine. Turn off everything. Recover the vessel. Nice. Bum, 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 bum. Conserve your parachutes by doing a litho braking. So we have 20 minutes left. What are we gonna do? We could build another, like, space plane and basically sacrifice Kerbals to the god of space planes. So if I upgraded you, and we have lots of money, so yeah, I'd be able to do resource transfers from then on, and do surface samples, which we're going to want to do before we land on something. Fallen Gone Zero just got a ton of stuff going on. Mission, oh, hold on. Alerts over here. Some stages were recovered. Awesome. Milestone, what was this? Rendezvous maneuver around the moon. Nice. And the contract did, in fact, get completed, which is great. We have an Explore Kerbin mission. Oh, rendezvous vessels in orbit of Kerbin. Ha! And we'll take it just to have it. That's fine. Rescue from orbit around the moon. I mean, we could clearly do that now. Equatorial orbit of Duna. Tons of missions available. And yeah, fair amount of money. We also have a little bit of science here. 1-6. Oh, we have enough for advanced fuel systems. Guys. Fuel ducts. Yeah. All right. Now we can do some crazy stuff. Build a Kerbal launcher machine. Yeah, geometric giraffe. We're gonna have to do a hacking of the text file or the save file to get his name properly in here. Unfortunately, but we'll be doing that next week for sure. Fuel ducts. Yeah. They're ducts that you can burn for. They're made out of rocket fuel. They're really good. The engines just go quack. So design a new launch stage. That's an idea, actually. No, we haven't collected any samples from the moon missions yet because we haven't actually, we didn't have that stuff yet. I don't want to do another science mission right now because some of our science parts are still broken. So we're going to have to do something like that. Tell you what we're going to do. Well, I don't know. I mean, we could take some samples around here. Fuel side ducts. We could do some, I mean, it's not much science, but we could grab some biome stuff over here. And again, as an excuse to make another plane. Well, I mean, we could work on setting things up for the rendezvous mission around orbit here. And what we could do is we could do a material bay, like the old material bay for that. So let's say we'll do a rendezvous of two manned capsules here. Actually, I wonder, can we try to do a rendezvous with the big one? We only have the small. No, that works. So this is a 2-person capsule. What's the size of this thing? Is it still 125? No, yeah, it's the bigger one. I wonder if we can do this. It would just be nice to give tons of people experience. Wow, that is so not aerodynamic, I don't think. Confused. Wait, what size is this? Oh, this is not the 2.5 meter. This is that in between. It's 1.85 meter. Do we have a adapter for that? Yes, we do. There we go. And then the poodle on there. There we go. Something like that. That's interesting. And then we can throw on the TD-25. Like that. Okay. Oh, we don't have... Okay, we don't have a big Rockomax, but... we've got this. I think we'd have to multi-stage this, though. We have lots of delta V as long as this the poodle becomes active in the atmosphere. 22 is not bad. Actually, that'd probably work out okay, especially if we kickstart things with some SRBs. I mean, I don't know if we need... It's probably a little ridiculous. It's 42 seconds of burn time. You know, that's viable, and I think I might actually keep it as 2 separate stages. Normally I would do it all at the same time, but I don't think I would in this particular situation. How come I can't... There we go. Shift click to move you. That was weird. You know, a little something something. Just to try something different. Not convinced this is necessarily better, but it's something. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a pair of drogues. And then a pair of radials here. Just to make sure there's no terrible weirdness. This is expensive. Dang, man. I guess one of the questions will be, can we recover this stage? I think the answer might be yes. There we go. And then, just to say, we'll throw on some solar panels on that too. Okay. Let's get a name. The Lynx's Nap. I like it. Safety lights! Is chat spamming about it? Because if we don't have safety lights, this is never, ever, ever gonna work. There we go. Whew! Yeah, probably some winglets is a good idea. Over there. And yeah, we probably want to do something like strut you to something. I think that's the only thing that needs strutting, though. Everything else should be pretty solid. Your struts aren't centered? Oh, my boosters, SRBs aren't. There you go. Did that screw up my things? Da-da. No, no, no. Okay. Looks alright. So we'll have 2 of these meet up in space. So give us a chance to test our new components. Why not try another launch site? Now that's interesting, actually. It could have been something. Safety lights on the launch struts. Oh yeah, RCS. Ha ha ha! For the Rendezvous. Yeah, probably, huh? Oh! I was gonna put some science on here too. Hold on. Oops, I shouldn't have recovered. I should have reverted, because now I'll have to click an extra time. That's fine. Launch the second one from new location. Oh, just to shake things up. Actually, I kind of like that. That's a pretty slick idea, actually. Your parachute set up correctly? I think so. Cancel. Come back over here. And it's 6 degrees. The desert one is like 6.5. Although the inclination, it only matters if you also launch at exactly the right time, because otherwise you might end up being 12 degrees inclination off. What was I just talking about? I mean, I know there was science. I think there was one more thing. I can't remember what it is. Now the problem is this material. Oh, we can get. Do they have a smaller version of the Science Junior? RCS, thank you. There was something else. I guess we can do this. It'll look kind of stupid. But it'll work. That might burn up on re-entry. There we go. I think the top... This is fuel here. This has got fuel, so the poodle's got it. It's not just a structural component. But, yeah, I can see why that could be a concern. Try it over the science bit. No, this is totally okay. Oh, this might have broke some of my auto-strutting, though. Bring a scientist as a second crew member and ditch a science junior? Yeah, possibly. Actually, I didn't even look at what crew members we were bringing. This is mostly just let's get some extra XP or something like that. Yeah, this looks fine. Exactly, Mubarakers. You got this. Strut you to the route over here. I'm sure this is okay. So this will be a good time. We can use our smart ass over here to actually use our to do our launch, so we can fine-tune things a little bit instead, which is kind of nice and handy. So we've got this engaged, full throttle, launch. Whoa! It's always scary when your ship drops for a second before it goes up. Oh man, amazing. Crew reports. Yes. Could have EVA'd on the ground. I guess I can antenna this one. Oh no, yeah, no comms device. We don't have any antenna going on. We also have, oh shit, no ability to steer. Let's turn this on. Oh! I hadn't hit execute! That was the problem. Whoops. Okay. I hadn't hit execute, so it wasn't actually RCS or trying to control anything. We can get rid of you. Okay, this is fine. Good thing we have way excess amounts of fuel. Let's just try that again. There's a heat shield. There's a heat shield. Nafsks. And you know, this is going to give us a chance to EVA on the surface as well. So... Or not, oh, it's EVA on launch. Full throttle. So surface, execute. Let me go and, there. And we won't have the downwards movement. So we're not going to EVA. We will get the crew report, though. Then we'll have to reset it later. That's going to be okay. Alright. So now we should go straight up. Good thing we have simulations. That's right. This is what I'm looking for, is a full burn using the SRBs. We should, because we have winglets, we should be able to actually start a gravity turn. Excellent, much better. We're going to keep pitching over slowly. Can actually go, I think with this design we could go a fair bit outside of prograde and still be totally safe. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Not quite as smooth as when I do it manually, but I don't know, it's about the same. Time to apoapsis is climbing slowly, which is always a good sign. I'd love to do an EVA right now if we were willing to sacrifice some Kerbals. Material study here, but we're going to wait until space. Although, yeah, if I did have a scientist, I don't know if either one of these. Engineer. Oh, we have 2 engineers. Okay, that totally makes sense to me. Yeah. Just keep dropping in pitch here. We're looking to flatten out. Because, yeah, our apoapsis is nice and high. We're thin enough. Yeah, we're not too worried about the air being kind of wonky here. And we're going to target 100K for orbit. And zero it out. Okay, so we're burning completely straight to the side. We are still climbing our apoapsis a little bit, but mostly we're flattening things out. And there's 100. I'm tempted to just finish burning this stage here. Nice looking ship. I mean, this little bit here is derpy, but the rest of it looks really sexy. You can't tell me it doesn't, you guys. Hey, you guys. All right, physics warp. This never goes badly. And space. There you go. Auto-extending solar panels, finally. Material study. Collect. Save. Wonderful. Okay. It'll be interesting to see if this makes it into re-entry. Goonies reference? Maybe. Launch rocket 2. Well, I have to wait until this is in orbit before I do that. Otherwise, things might go badly while I'm away. So you're just going to get ready to lock prograde. And we're just going to time warp and hopefully not overkill it too much. There we go. Time to apoapsis, 20 seconds. Go for burn. And stage. Still a cool looking ship, to be honest. So that one is still suborbital, so it'll re-enter. And honestly, as long as we're out of physics range, I don't think it'll burn up. I think it'll correctly re-enter and deploy its parachutes. So it's going to be cool. And periapsis. And that's good. Okay. And that brings us to 4, which I think is perfect. So next week what we'll do is we will work on doing this Rendezvous. Yeah, that's good and swell. I'm pretty pleased with this. Look at this little guy. It looks neat. Looks something a little sci-fi-ish. Looks like something like a 1950s artist would draw about what they thought space would, you know, space travel and spaceships would look like, doesn't it? Oh, is that what happens when you hit F3? Oh, interesting. I'm just taking some screenshots here, because I always have to spam screenshots when things are looking lovely. I don't know if it's like, is it there? No, it's like right there. That's the sweet spot. Excellent. Turn on safety lights. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, turn off. I can just hit this button. There we go. Whew. Okay, we were unsafe before. Look how glowy these people are. Oh my god, it's like, oh, I can't see anything. Oh, the kerbality. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it makes me so happy. So yeah, we'll go on Rendezvous with probably an exact duplicate of this one, even though the material bay. Well, we could have one of the material bays collect stuff on liftoff, and that'd be fine. And again, we could do some scientist stuff to reset things, but I don't know if we need to, strictly speaking. Sweet. So what we're gonna do is we're going to end the stream here. Next stream should be on Wednesday when we continue our Age of Wonders 3 run, which, to be honest, is going a little rough because I was out of practice. I played it. I played some Age of Wonders 3. In between streams and things on that on my own, and reminded like, oh yeah, you got to be a lot more like spammy about stuff and things, and whether or not our current run is lost or not, I don't know, but we're going to be playing it on Wednesday regardless. We'll see how that goes. And then after that, Saturday and everything. I think next week is a normal streaming schedule as well. So next Monday, Kerbal MUNDAYS should happen as well. I want to give a big shout out again to everyone who's here on Saturday for the extra live stream. Whether you donated or not, your presence was hugely appreciated, and you were super influential in helping us hit 54,000. We crushed our goal. Our goal was 34,000, and we got 54,000. Like, just wow. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I love you. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye-bye, y'all.